I'm putting together a team. I need a driver, I need a demolitions expert, and I need someone with a weird funky hat. Derek, you in?
Yes.
And we're gonna call in the big guns. I got a tech guy. His name, Jay Fridge. You in?
I'm in.
That's right. And now we keep scrolling. And now we're gonna rob the Louvre, right? Are you in?
Let's go.
We're in.
Oh gosh, this is still scrolling.
W intro.
Good news, everyone. Good news. Welcome to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Justin.
I'm your other one of your hosts, back from the dead, over the recovery of an average run-of-the-mill appendix removal, Derek.
Yes, and we, as you heard in the intro, we robbed the Louvre. It was us. It was
We did it.
It was a hard journey, but unfortunately, Steph got caught up. You know, we had to leave someone behind, and the boat had to keep going on the water, so we had to leave Steph behind. So we got a replacement. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one, the only, Jay Phrygian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello. Happy to be here. Happy to have made it and escaped with the Louvre heist.
Exactly. So for those of you that don't know who you are, please tell the viewers where they can find you. What kind of content do you make? Tell us about yourself.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I'm Jay Phrygian. Appreciate you with the pronunciation. I know it's a really odd name. It's a silly music term. This is a whole other story. But yeah, I make pop culture commentary and cinema conversation content across all platforms. That is how I came across Justin over here, and then obviously have seen the Still Scrolling podcast, familiarize myself with, each of you guys. And yeah, happy to be on here and talk shop.
Great. We are so glad you came because we have so much to talk about in this episode. So much happened. And like I alluded to in the beginning of the show, guys, we have a heist. Finally, we have a modern day heist. It's going to be so fun. Derek, you scrolled upon this, so tell the viewers or listeners how we committed this heist.
It's simple, we all here, I think, grew up on Looney Tunes, and we said, how can Looney Tunes inform our heisting abilities? So essentially we got together, we got a very big ladder, used it to get onto the balcony of the Louvre, and then we used circular saws to cut through the window. We got in there, smash and grab, took the crown jewels, Napoleon's crown jewels, and within 7 minutes we were out of there on our scooters. And, I'm obviously we're joking when we say that we did it, when we did it, but everything else I just said is true. That is how it happened. Which is insane to me.
That's you would actually think it's, what they did.
Yes. You would think it's like something out of Looney Tunes or like a cartoon or something, and you would think that when you're robbing arguably one of the most famous museums in the world, you'd have a little bit of Ocean's 11 in there, right? A little bit of a Mission Impossible, Italian Job approach. But they didn't do any of that, and I'm honestly impressed. I'm impressed they pulled it off.
Really? Okay. I have so many thoughts about this. Jay, did you hack into the mainframe, or do you have any idea on how they hacked into the mainframe?
The way that now he's described the actual logistics of it, I'm wondering if any tech was involved or if they really just had the sheer luck and prayer of divine intervention keeping them from being caught, because I would have thought it would have been way more covert than what was just explained.
Oh, it was at 9:30 in the morning, by the way.
They were still awake.
Daytime?
9:30 in the morning. There was it was open. The museum was open to the public. They had to ask everybody to leave because it happened during business hours.
So you know what's funny though? I here's the thing. I've been to the Louvre, and like, listen. It was a good time. But anyways, I think what's the funniest part about the Louvre is that what I noticed. This is a terrible thought, and I was like, oh wait, it would be so easy to rob this place. And what I mean by that, here's the thing. I'm not saying it was me. I'm saying that they don't think that anyone has the audacity to do it.
Yeah.
So these things are just on the table. And then there's this little wire thing that you're supposed to like stand behind, right? You know what I mean? And they have people who are watching you. But like, mind you, they're not armed to the teeth. They're not like gonna beat you up, right? They'll call in someone to beat you up. They'll call in on their little walkie-talkie. And like, if you get too close, I did this. Like, I leaned in to look at something, and they were like, "Sir, no, sir, stand behind the thing."
Back up.
I'm saying, if you just have audacity and just take it and run, I can see how they got away with this. That's all I'm saying.
Kind of like the neighborhood full of people. This actually happened to one of my friends. He was one of two black families in the neighborhood. And those two houses were the only ones whose cars didn't get robbed because they were the only two that like locked their cars at night, or just in general. He was like, me and the family next to us are the only ones, because everybody else didn't think anyone had the audacity to just walk around the neighborhood and open up their car.
Exactly. And so all you have
or they never lived in a neighborhood with junkies, like, a few blocks away. that would just, it's not audacity at that point, but it's the same idea, right? Like, you grow up in like Miami or a certain city, to lock your doors, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not even a matter of audacity. But with certain places like the Louvre, like, I think it's 1000% like, a junkie's not getting in the front door. It's really just a matter of what's our security plan, and no one has the audacity.
No, in their defense, the items are weighted on the table. So as soon as you grab it, it's going to go on the alarm. So for this plan to work, they had to have the audacity to get on that ladder, cut a hole in, a pre-planned hole, grab the jewels, and just run. That's all you need. You know what I mean? Don't go through the security checkpoints of the Louvre, because that's how they get you, because you're going, and then you have like 1 million security guards on you. It's just like, you just gotta do it. But oh my god!
Shout out to the scooters though, because I don't know if you've seen the pictures. So it's not just a big ass ladder. It's like a utility truck with the like a fire truck style. So. So imagine trying to get away in that thing. They're going to catch your ass, right? Even if it's a car or something, they're going to spot it. They're going to, look for the plates, look for the car or whatever. The scooters are kind of ingenious because it has that extra mobility of like, I can be on the street, I can be on the sidewalk. I can kind of get away faster in a sense.
I see.
I think that's where the real genius was the scooters.
I will say, did you guys see that they released a picture of the security guard that was in charge of the jewels?
We have to quit. I think we have to quit now.
I'm not going to say I'm not intimidated, because you never know what somebody is capable of.
Oh, wait, you don't know who this is? Have you seen White Lotus, Jay?
Oh shit!
That's the security guard from White Lotus.
I thought that was for real.
I thought we were just ragging on the guy.
I thought it was, well. Anyways, that makes that even funnier.
You know what? Though? That's a good approach, right? Like, don't start shit because you don't know. Even if they don't know how to fight, right? Like, they could be packing heat or something, right?
True.
It's just a general good advice.
Not
gosh. Yeah. It reminds me of when I was also in Paris, I went to another museum, and we got to see what's his name, Vincent Van Gogh's like sunflower stuff, right? Those pictures. And the very next day, some climate activists spilled soup on that like thing, and that's why I learned that it's not the actual like painting in front of you. It's like behind like a glass thing. You know what I mean? So like most of these arts are protected, but for some reason the jewels are just sitting there. So
again,
anyways.
the jewels, the things that are more heavily worth monetary value.
I mean, I would like to have a Vincent Van Gogh painting.
Vincent Van Gogh is also worth a lot of money too. But
exactly. So we're gonna keep it moving because so much has happened. Jay, what made you scroll? Or what? I messed up that lead in. Gosh dang it! What did you scroll on this week?
Man, listen. This one, and I know I come into hater territory here because I also like. I have relatives who watch, but I never really got into it. How many of you guys are fans of Stranger Things?
I love Stranger Things. Derek hates Stranger Things.
It's just Justin. I don't hate it. I just think it lost its appeal when Millie Bobby Brown got married and adopted a child in between seasons, because that's how long the seasons take.
Listen,
okay.
I mean,
well,
okay.
That's a perfect lead in of what I stopped scrolling on was this here, a list of major TV shows that started and ended during the Stranger Things run. Do you see how long this list is?
Arcane? That just came out. Riverdale? Cobra
That's
Kai?
what I'm saying. That's what you're not. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which I think started during the pandemic. Like, yeah. We're talking you, low-key, fair. Arcane, yes, because Arcane was only 2 seasons. I have thoughts about that. But anyways, Atlanta, Snowfall, Cobra Kai, The Punisher, Squid Game. Squid Game was a pandemic phenomenon and is finished before this is. And so the reason that this really made me stop scrolling, because like everyone can kind of see the list here. How long it goes. 13 Reasons Why. Superman and Lois on the CW. We had a whole TV Superman at this point. And I mean, Star Wars fans like Star Wars Bad Batch. Like what? So the reason that it made me stop scrolling is because the Duffer brothers recently talked to, it was either Variety or Deadline, saying that they actually want to continue to have large release gaps between seasons of television. They think that it is better and builds up anticipation and that the payoff is more worth it. And I just couldn't disagree more.
Mm-hmm. Skill issue.
Agree with your disagree.
because I just am like, at what point does build up anticipation turn into diminishing returns? It's just kind of like,
well, I have a question. It depends on what your favorite Stranger Things season is, or what you view as the best, because I think this mentality is coming off of the hot season 4. That season 4
season
was
4 everybody was hyped. That was when people were like, you need to watch it, and I was like, but I'm so far behind. Like there's too much media in my opinion.
Listen, but it's Stranger Things. I think I was telling Jay before the show started, Stranger Things is such a beautiful time capsule of our current television state, and how our media is affecting us. Because keep in mind, Stranger Things came out on Netflix when Netflix wasn't the hottest. It was one of the premiere shows. Like, oh, here comes this new streaming show. We're gonna drop all the episodes in once. They didn't even advertise it that much, and it was a hit because like people were gaining interest and like telling people about it and stuff like that. Stranger Things 1 came out when I was in college. What was it? 2016?
My knowledge of Stranger Things came from my brother-in-law. Like he was, like 8 at the time, and he graduated high school now. So again, like, yeah, that's the type of that is the type of frame of reference. That's the type of frame of reference. He might not have been 8. whatever. He was in like elementary still or middle school because I was in college, and now he is graduated. He's going to like he's doing flight lessons, trying to become a pilot. He again, it is. I don't really necessarily. I think that the gaps weren't that bad before. I feel like they've just. It's somewhere between like the season 3 to 4 and then the 4 to 5 is where like this release gap is kind of extra.
Well,
Yeah.
season 1 came out in 2016. Season 2 came out in 2017. Season 3, 2019. Season 4, 2022. So it's like it's gaming.
There's a little bit of pandemic. There's a little bit of pandemic in there.
The 2019, so the 2019, that gap, right, where it was, what was it, season 3, you said? Came out in 2019?
Season 3 came out in 2019, right.
So that 2019, that time period is around when TV shows were already starting to be a little bit delayed in release, like taking longer. So we saw it with Game of Thrones as well. Obviously, we saw it with Stranger Things. And there's like another show that it was like, oh wow, TV shows are taking a little bit longer. That's kind of weird, right? It used to just be like a year, right, for like the the more intricate drama shows, right? And then the pandemic hit, obviously, and now it kind of doubled down on that. Where we were already taking forever because TV is the new thing. All the stars have commitments and scheduling and this, that, and the other, and it's just gonna be delayed, right? Things are gonna take a long time to make, and we saw that with the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, and then Stranger Things, and then the pandemic hit, and now everything is just naturally taking forever because it just became the standard. But for you to say this is a good thing, actually, like, hey, Duffer
I
Brothers.
didn't say it was a good.
Not you.
Some of the Duffer Brothers.
Yeah.
For them to say that, that's like, okay, that's Netflix propaganda. That's streaming service propaganda trying to get us to accept this as normal so that they don't have to release as much content all the time.
Yeah, they said if TV shows come out every year, it's diminishing return. I was like, I don't know.
That wouldn't work. Every 4 years since the last season, right? How long has it been?
I've forgotten what happened.
It came out 2022 was the last season of Stranger Things.
almost 4 years for like a show like, I don't know, Loki or You, for example. That one was another one where it took a little bit longer. I was barely interested by the time that last season of You came on, and I got around to watching it because there was nothing else, and I didn't remember half the shit, and I wasn't gonna sit there and rewatch everything. But Netflix doesn't care, right? They just care if you actually sit down and watch it, which again I think just speaks to they're making this shit to have a catalog. They're not making it to give us joy and have us experience things because we like it or it's good.
But listen, I don't think there's a single show on that list that you showed that has the same cultural impact as Stranger Things.
So you're saying the same thing that I'm pretty sure some other comments were saying, and that's kind of crazy. I don't know.
I disagree.
Arcane was on there. Arcane was pretty huge.
Cultural impact of Stranger Things. Like, every single show on that list hasn't hit the same way as Stranger Things did. None of them.
You weren't culturally impacted by Snowfall?
Maybe Squid Game.
I was about to say, yeah. Well, people say Squid Game also by the final season, kind of like season 1 was here, season 2 was here, and then like I've heard season 3 was like.
Here's the thing. I also don't think it is having the impact because of the show itself, like on its own merits, right? Like, I think people are just see it and they're like, oh, the 80s. Oh, nostalgia. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. That's something new that maybe I'll explore. And that's as far as it goes. I don't think it's like you're sitting there and you're having like people, legitimately like get into it like the way they did with Game of Thrones, right? The good seasons, obviously. Those shows kind of stand on their own without relying on the nostalgia and the aesthetic and the vibe that they're bringing. Yeah,
I disagree completely. You know, people are dissecting Stranger Things all the time, especially with season 4 when we had nothing to do during the pandemic.
What I was going to say is season 4 for sure. This is music. Like
that's the TikTok season.
That TikTok paired with that season of Stranger Things did go crazy, but also the memeability of the fact that these people started as children and they are still playing these children and they are grown adults with wives and children. I hear it. Although, are you a big Star Wars fan?
I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Andor is also on this list.
It still hasn't had the same cultural impact.
You don't think it has the same cultural impact?
No.
Politically, yeah. And again, because it's saying something, not because it leaned into like pop culture the way Stranger Things did. Like, I don't think in like 20 years people are gonna look back at Stranger Things and be like, "Oh,
classic."
This is a classic.
Yes, they will. I guarantee you they will, Derek. I guarantee you. Like,
maybe I'm not phrasing it right. But
Jay, like, think about it. At Comic-Con, you know how many Cassian Andor cosplays I saw?
Fair.
I saw a Mon Mothma. I saw a Clea. Anybody else? Any B2 emos walking around?
Nope.
Any K2 SOs?
That's not fair. How you gonna make a B2 emo?
People do it all the time. There was a Fantastic Four Tony Stark walking around. Like, come on. There's no K2 SOs. There was no like all that stuff. But you know who I still saw at Comic-Con? Eddie Munson.
I saw a lot of Demogorgons.
Demogorgon. I saw Chrissy's the cheerleader. I still saw that. Like none of these shows have the same cultural impact. And I think Stranger Things is one of the few shows of the streaming era that has had that cultural impact. And I think they're just like backwards walking into weekly releases. Like, you know, having time for people to digest the show and talk about it works better. That's crazy.
That's also, I think, kind of where, again, the fandom goes strong, and I think that leaning back to weekly is cool too, because I think that's another thing that deterred me from wanting to get into it. Everyone's like, you got to get into Stranger Things, and then I'm like, when does season 4 drop? Next week. Okay, is the full season dropping? Yes. I was like, well, I'll be spoiled before I can even really get into anything. So
encourage you to watch it quickly, though. That's the goal of the business. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna watch what you gotta do. 3 seasons in 24 hours. I got you. I have a child. I can't do that.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, so we're gonna shift gears into something not fun for our next story. This is not fun. This is not as fun as Stranger Things.
The political and social state of the world.
No, kinda. I guess.
Smith proud.
Maybe. Oh my gosh.
You haven't seen that Jaden Smith clip?
So, have you guys seen what happened to this Doordasher? What's going on TikTok?
Oh snap!
No.
Wait.
Okay. I
might have heard this story.
Trigger warning, everyone. But let me show you this because it's not fun. It's not cool. But let me not put words in her mouth and let her share her story. Right? Okay.
Hey guys, so Doordash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. Hey guys, I just lost my job, and they won't tell me why. They're supposed to send an email immediately after deactivation providing you the reason why and a link to appeal, and they didn't. So I contacted support, and they made me sit on the phone with them for 50 minutes just to tell me that they can't tell me the reason why, and I have to just go ahead and appeal without knowing why. So my chances of getting my account back, they have my money in that account. I was working. I was literally working, and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while DoorDashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing. I lost my job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
she got really red.
Yes.
I did see this. I know what this is about.
I was slightly
so-
told about this.
So after this video, she then posts the footage from the incident. And in this we are not able to show this footage on YouTube, unfortunately. Yeah. It's a little racy. But anyways, in this footage, this woman shows that she puts the food at the front of the door, and the door, only the screen door is on. The inside door is open. And in the home, she turns and looks to her left, and there is, assuming the person who ordered the food, with his pants down, Johnson out, and is sleeping on the couch. She then leaves and says, "Oh, this is fucked up. This is fucked up," right? Then Doordash then puts out this statement. I'm going to show it for the YouTube people. If I can pull it up. There we go. We've seen some tough and sensitive posts over the past few days, and we want to clear the air. No one should ever have to experience sexual assault, harassment, or abuse, and DoorDash never deactivates someone for reporting it. Full stop. We take these reports incredibly seriously and work closely with law enforcement to investigate and support those affected. In this case, the Dasher let us know an experience that made them feel unsafe, and that's exactly what we always want Dashers to do. Our team immediately began investigating and has been in direct contact with law enforcement and is prepared to fully support any of their efforts. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies, and that is the sole reason that this Dasher's account was deactivated along with the customers. While we investigated, we've also ensured that the Dasher has full access to their earnings. We know that these are sensitive situations, and we want every Dasher to know if you ever feel unsafe or experience something concerning, come to us. We're here to listen, act, and support. And so, there has been lots of reactions on both sides, and I hear myself echoing. Who is that? Is that me?
I think it's because you're sharing the screen.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay, because I don't hear it.
So, Jay, hearing this for the first time, should she have gotten her account deactivated? Should she have been fired from her job?
So I realized I did hear about this literally right before this call, not realizing this was the DoorDash situation. Now hearing this context, and I saw some of the comments as well. The problem is everything doesn't need to be shared digitally. And what I saw people saying, the problem is, why did you take a video of said man in his home? You could have, I get if you just said it and didn't have evidence maybe, but like also she said he was, or you said that he was asleep. So it's like, should she have been fired? You sent that naked man to them people.
She did.
I mean, I would get fired from my job. Just like
she posted it. I think the problem is more so she posted it online.
She posted it online too.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh no, yeah. See, this is everything shouldn't be shared on TikTok, brother. Like that should have maintained whatever level of privacy. I don't know if they have encryption, but you posted that naked man without his consent. Again, so we're gonna have a real conversation about consent. Like, you posted that naked man without his consent.
Yeah. Was she assaulted, Derek?
I mean, yeah, from a technical sense, yes, right? You don't have your dick out when you know when somebody else can potentially see it, right? I don't think it's obviously not a full blown like assault like that either, and I think I empathize with her in what she went through. I think where a lot of people lose their heads in situations like this is that they don't go about it the right way to get it resolved, right? Like, go, take that to DoorDash. That has no place on TikTok, at least not yet, right? If you take it to DoorDash says there's nothing was wrong, nothing happened, and then you want to make a case out of it, and then you want to go public with your story and whistleblow and all that kind of stuff, okay, then maybe there's a conversation around posting it on TikTok and posting it online at that point, right? To kind of share your side of the story and all that. But if you're trying to get this resolved, if you're trying to report this person, if you're trying to like kind of seek justice for yourself, that's something that needs to go to the police, needs to go to DoorDash, it needs to go to like the proper channels to get that resolved. And then if you don't get an answer, and then if something kind of doesn't go the right way, then there's the whole conversation around releasing it to the public.
Was the video she posted at least censored? Did she at least censor?
So, in her own words, she posted the full meat out video. She then tried to censor it and post it again, and then said that her account was in danger of being banned. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a scenario where you're allowed to post that footage anywhere.
You can't post your own
TikTok.
full meat out. Like, I don't even think this man could post his whole full meat out. So like, a scenario of posting someone else full meat out is.
I shouldn't be laughing, but yeah, no,
There's no scenario where that's a good idea.
I think also, I hope I don't get canceled. This like violated. Yes. I mean, if he ordered the food and it's like, did he go to sleep meat out, or was he with someone else? Like, was someone else in the house and they order food like while he asleep?
Jay, were you there?
No, I'm asking.
Were you there? Lock him
Jay.
up.
Not
Lock him up.
because
No. He's gotta go.
because why would you order the food and then go to sleep full meat out? Like
True.
like, were you trying to? I can't. I'm like, there maybe is someone out there who's like, I want him to catch me sleep with my meat out.
Yeah.
But like,
Whoa!
I would hope
Jay.
not. I would hope not.
Derek,
Somebody-
clip this so we can incriminate Jay.
Listen,
Somebody said, I saw somewhere that the instruction was to leave it at the door. So I could see it as like, the intention was not to expose yourself to someone, but that's what ended up happening. Yeah, it's a.
I need
it's a
him
tough
to
one,
post a TikTok. I need a statement. What were
Yeah,
you
right?
thinking?
So, here's the thing.
We need a Tony Stark Iron Man 3 crime scene recreation to see exactly.
I empathize with this woman. Because
I have a story after you say this.
I don't think anyone should experience that at your job, because that is a truly traumatizing event. Anyone who has dealt with like creepy men in cities or flashers in the subway thing has experienced something like this, So I empathize with that. I guess not that I have an issue, because issue isn't the right word. I guess I'm advising her strategically.
Strategic advisor, yes.
In that, I think oftentimes, unfortunately, when people are assaulted or harassed, people on the internet in our current society like to poke as many holes so that they don't believe women, right?
That's correct.
It's unfortunately the current state, you know what I mean? That people will, it doesn't matter if she was the perfect victim. And I don't think she is the perfect victim in this case, but something still happened to her, right? Mm-hmm. I guess when she then takes that video and, as far as we know, didn't give it to law enforcement, post it online, she then becomes a perpetrator
Yeah, because
She
you were
then
holding on to a
become-
recorded video. Yeah, like
I think I'm not sure if this is the correct term. I think it's revenge porn at some degree, right? There has been like like paparazzi can take pictures of people in their homes of celebrities and things like that. And that's bad, obviously, and I don't want that to happen to people. But the law has determined that's, I guess, okay. So maybe I'm not a lawyer. We should have hired a lawyer for this episode.
I'm not a lawyer, but actually, there is a page called "I'm Not a Lawyer," but I'll have to go look and see if she has anything on this.
Ooh, bring her. I think her only problem is posting it on TikTok. You know,
I think
which
that's
is
where
just not a good idea.
I think that's where it shifts to a different conversation. I can empathize with her because personally, I actually have a story of when I went to stay at an Airbnb. It was hosted by a woman, and I texted and I'm like, "Hey, am I at the right place? Is this the right door? Whatever." And I couldn't get into the door that was just the private entrance for me. So then I went around to the back where the entrance was, like the instruction said would be open if they weren't there. And I go in and I'm there. I'm putting my stuff down. I'm like laying down for a bit. I'm a little jet lagged. And I wake up, or I'm just sitting there and I start kind of hearing, I've been hearing like a TV, and I'm hearing noises. And I'm hearing people, multiple people, two people. And I'm like, maybe this is why she never messaged me back. So I just decided, you know what, I'm hungry. I got up and left and started walking up the street. I kid you not, I shut the door and not 5 steps up the sidewalk, I finally got a message back because I think they realized that I was there.
What were they doing, Jay?
Coitus.
Whoa, 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 whoa! This is a family show.
But that's what I'm saying is like, that's why I'm like, I can empathize with her on like, I can feel the violation. Cause I'm like, you knew I was coming to stay at your Airbnb, and like, sure, y'all got to, but it's like, I'm messaging this person. I'm like, they said, message me when you land. I messaged when I landed. Never heard anything. Message when I got to the house. Never heard anything. Message while I'm in the house. Never heard anything. Walked out of the house after I heard noises. All of a sudden I got a message back, and I was like, so I will never stay, but from the time that happened, I was like, I'll never stay at an Airbnb where you're sharing space ever again. I did it because I had to. I didn't have the money to go to LA and not do it, but I was like, I'll never do this again.
Wow.
So I empathize with her in the fact of like, I felt kind of violated because I'm like, again, like, you knew I was coming to stay here. You messaged me when I was off of the plane, so you knew that I was en route to your place. But then you didn't like wait until you knew I was gone, or so. Yeah. But
I think
also
a lot
it's
of
their
this-
home.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. I think Airbnb has its own. That's a whole other like 2 or
think
3
all the
podcast
online-
episodes worth of
All the
grievances.
online contracts and delivery and stay and all that stuff. They're doing it with cars now too, and I'm like, you realize that's with Turo, and so yeah, we got some really fine lines, and yeah, I agree with Justin where it's like, I agree she was violated. I do think it kind of turned into a misconduct thing when you posted a video of this naked man on TikTok.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this stems too from like assuming positive intent here, right? Because I'll be honest, I see that video and I get like, anarcho communist super left vibes where it's like, fuck the system, I'm gonna do what I want, right, from the girl, but assuming that wasn't the intent, right, that she was just intending to like seek justice and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of this stems from like we still haven't anywhere close to normalized people, but women specifically speaking out and seeking help when something like this happens to them. So she probably was just doing what she thought was best to do, which is like, let me share my story, let me post it online. Like, I don't have a support system to help me here. I don't have a therapist to talk to. I don't have, a law enforcement liaison to discuss things with. Let me just post it online, right? Whether she sent it to Doordash or not, right? Like, just separate from that. That's a whole other set of things that should come along with a situation like that, which clearly I don't think she got. Or else, she wouldn't have been posting, the man's meat online.
To Justin's point, I hate that the story is turning into, it's basically a hole poke now of like,
Yeah.
well, nothing bad happened to you. And it's like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Interesting. So speaking of poking holes in something, Jay, are you familiar with Am I the Asshole?
I am.
So it's a little segment we like to do to close out every single show. I'm going to read you a Reddit post, just to title it first, and you're going to say, are they the asshole after the title or not? Lock in your answers, and then I'll read the story. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Am I the asshole for letting my daughter stay with me and my wife after she found out that her mom lied to her?
Am I the asshole for letting my daughter stay with me
And
my wife after finding out her mom lied to her? So
Correct.
mom and wife are not the same.
Correct. Derek, what do you think?
I don't think so. That sounds like your daughter needed somebody, a place to stay at home, and that's your daughter, and you seem to have the right to let her stay with you. So I don't think so.
Interesting. Jay?
As a parent, this sounds like one of those mom did this, so I went to dad. And at the same time, you still got to be a co-parent. So I am going to say, this is hard to say before knowing details, but I'm going to say he is the asshole.
Interesting.
I'm going to say he is the asshole.
She's out here qualifying that.
Hopefully because as a father, I understand, like I have a 3-year-old right now who will ask her mom for something and then come to me and say something that her mom did not say. And I'm not saying that this kid did that, but it's when you're having to co-parent, it's like you still need to be speaking with her mother if everyone's on good terms. But if everyone's not on good terms, then it's even more difficult.
See.
But I'm gonna say he is. For the love of the game, for the devil's advocate, for the debate, I'm gonna say he is the asshole.
All right, let's find out. My ex and I have a 12-year-old daughter, Olivia, with autism level 2. My ex has primary custody, and I have Olivia on Wednesdays and every other weekend. A few months ago, my ex told me she was feeling a little burnt out, so she wanted us to keep Olivia from Wednesday to Sunday so she could go on a trip with some friends. Olivia is very attached to her mom, so my ex told Olivia that it was a work trip and she had to go. Last week, one of my ex's friends was at the house with my ex, and Olivia and their vacation somehow came up. Olivia figured out that the vacation was the work trip that her mom told her about and freaked out because her mom lied to her and her mom doesn't lie. She hid in her room for the rest of the day, then called me and asked me to come get her. She's been with us ever since. She's really upset about this. She cries all the time because she wants her mom, but she doesn't know what else her mom lied about, so she doesn't trust her. Apparently, Olivia's aide called my ex because she's been having a hard time in school, so now my ex-wife is demanding that I send Olivia home so they can get back to her routines and start working with her therapist to help get her over this. But I told Olivia I will go back when she's ready, or Olivia will go back when she's ready. Now she's threatening to call the police or take me to court over custodial interference, even though we've always had a very friendly co-parenting relationship. My wife thinks we should send her back to avoid drama, but I think it should be Olivia's choice. Am I the asshole for refusing to send her back after she found out her mom lied to her?
Boom. I'm gonna say, first of all, you were a part of the lie, brother.
Really?
Your
Okay.
ex-wife, if your ex-wife told you, at least the way that reads, the way he said it, it sounds like she told him, I'm going on a trip with friends. I'm really going on a trip. Unless he's conflating information that he found out after the fact. But the way that reads is that he also knew she wasn't going on a work trip. if he didn't know she wasn't going on a work trip and he was still going to keep her, still kind of is the asshole, only because, again, she's 12 and on the spectrum. The routine also is very important. It is very tough. And saying it's weird because when you're thinking about child autonomy, it's like she does have a choice, but also like y'all are both her parents. So unless you were prepared to like what this means, and that's like we're breaking our custodial agreements and all that stuff, unless you were prepared to have that conversation, then you are kind of the asshole. Again, like you shouldn't just be like, it's on Olivia. Like, no, it's the decision as the two of you as the parents. You as the parents now need to go and hash this out. Hash this out in therapy, in court, whatever, with her counselor, with her aide. But messing up that child's routine is a whole beast in and of itself. And also, if it, again, the way it reads, you knew you were keeping her for longer because she was going on a trip. So again, like, are you just letting it be like, mom is the villain and I knew nothing?
Interesting. Derek, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of, I don't even know what the word is, but there's definitely a little bit of not being dense, right? He's being a little bit dense here, when in the sense that yeah, he was in on the lie, or that's what it seems like, right? But none of this helps resolve the situation at hand, which is that you have a kid that was out of their routine, that he said himself is crying for her mom every day, but doesn't understand what she's feeling and this, that, and the other. Like, that's all stuff that is not going to get resolved by her just staying with you. Yeah. So like, just, you got to let it go, bro. Like, whether you were in on the lie, whether you were not, like, it is what it is. It also sounds like he is not the main custodial parent, aka he gets to go on his vacations, he gets to have his free time, he gets to live mostly without the child there, which is fine, right? Like, that's how co-parenting is. It's like, he's not at fault there. When does she have time to herself? When does she have a vacation? When does she get to experience that kind of similar stuff? And I understand why that white lie came up in the first place. That's a separate debate, right? Right. So it's just kind of like, just, man the fuck up and deal with it, because your kid is the one suffering here, not you, not your wife.
Fascinating. We'll see if the comments on the episode agrees with you, but that's the end of the show. Jay, thank you so much for joining us. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Jay Phrygian across all social media. That's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube are the main things, but I also got, Facebook, Twitch, a little bit of Snapchat. They tell you post everywhere. Everybody don't be watching, but you know what I'm saying? You can find me just talking about movies, TV, gaming. Sometimes I make skits on a secondary page and all that stuff. But yeah, otherwise you'll see me just interacting in these guys' comments and across their shows. I've enjoyed being a guest. Thank you for having me and having my Stranger Things opinion that, is probably not going to be agreed with among Stranger Things fans.
That is correct.
Someone who hasn't watched.
Gosh.
As someone who hasn't watched, I know that I'm in the wrong, but it is just a phenomenon to me. And I appreciate you giving me the platform to say that.
Interesting. All right. Make sure you follow us on the socials. That is TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and all that good jazz. And we shall see you next week, right? Next week? Right?
Next week.
Bye.